Today we're gonna barrel age a cocktail, the barrel-aged Revolver. For this recipe, you're gonna need a large measuring cup, a jigger, a bar spoon, a funnel, a fine mesh strainer, a bottle, a pitcher, and most importantly, a small oak barrel. The ingredients are bourbon, coffee liqueur, orange bitters, and an orange peel for garnish. Whiskey and coffee are natural bedfellows. Irish coffee is the most famous example of this. The Revolver is a more modern cocktail. It was invented in 2003 by John Santer, Bay Area bartender and founder of the bar Prizefighter. It was conceived to be a drink that could be easily replicated. It has commonly available ingredients, and a recipe that follows a familiar template. As Santer readily admits, the Revolver is basically a Manhattan with coffee liqueur in place of the sweet vermouth. For this reason, and because it's delicious, this has become one of my favorite cocktails. You can whip it up at home without too much work. You can even eyeball it if you're feeling lazy, and it'll still turn out well. With the exception of the garnish, all of the ingredients are shelf-stable, so it can be done as part of a minimalist home bar. But I also make it a go-to drink at bars. You can usually get it made even if the bartender's never heard of it. If they happen to have something as dry as St. George, it's good at 2-to-1 bourbon to coffee liqueur. But most likely they'll have something sweeter. In that case, I'd go for a 4-to-1 bourbon to coffee liqueur. Because the drink is all booze, it's an ideal candidate for barrel aging. The cocktail is also mostly bourbon, so a barrel is its natural ally. Aging a cocktail in a barrel sands down some of the sharper edges and pulls out some of the deeper, heavier flavors of the drink. So in this case, the chocolatey notes of the coffee and the woody vanilla notes of the bourbon are made more prominent after being aged in the barrel for a month. The drink was originally made with Bulleit bourbon and Tia Maria coffee liqueur. So originally, it was made with a sweeter coffee liqueur, which is why the ratio of bourbon to coffee was 4-to-1. Feel free to swap in your favorite coffee liqueur, but as usual, I prefer it with the drier St. George Nola coffee liqueur. The original bourbon used in the drink was Bulleit. Bulleit is a high-rye bourbon, which means its character is spicier than some other bourbons made with a lower percentage of rye. So bourbons like Four Roses Single Barrel and Old Granddad will give you a good high-rye profile in this drink. But as originally conceived, you gotta put in a Bulleit if you want to make a Revolver. Building a cocktail for barrel aging is about being able to scale it. Since the liquid is what causes the wood to expand, which creates the seal, you'll need to keep the barrel full. You'll have to scale it up for a 2-liter or 3-liter or an even bigger barrel. And if you have a bigger barrel, you'll most likely have to age it a little longer as well. Assuming it's a new barrel, the first step will be to cure it. Do this by filling it with warm water and dumping it out again. It may leak from the head or the butt. In that case, you'll need to cure it again and again until it's ready to go. The idea is to get the water to expand the wood until it creates a watertight seal. In this case, however, I also use the barrel to age some sherry, and an Islay scotch after that. So some traces of those flavors are left behind in the barrel. A wisp of smoke, a little malt, and a touch of that almost chocolatey oxidized sherry. It's not essential to season the barrel with any other spirits or cocktails before you age this drink. But if you do, just keep in mind that some of the flavors from the previous agings will bleed through into this one. Once you're ready to add the booze to the barrel, pour 750 milliliters, or in this case the whole bottle of bourbon, into your pitcher. Measure 250 milliliters, or about 8.5 ounces of coffee liqueur. Pour that in your pitcher. Measure 30 milliliters, or about an ounce of orange bitters. Add that to your pitcher. Give that a quick stir, then give it a small taste. Make sure you're putting a cocktail you want to drink into the barrel. Pop in your funnel and pour it in your barrel. If you added everything up, you'd notice it was more than a liter, but it'll still fit. Pull out the funnel, plug in the bung, and wait. In the case of a 1-liter barrel, 3 to 4 weeks is the sweet spot. You don't want to leave it in too long unless you really like the taste of oak in your cocktail. It's always a good idea to taste a little along the way. That way you'll see how it's progressing. It may take a little more or a little less time depending on the barrel and how many times you've used it. With this one, 30 to 45 days is a good benchmark. But let your taste buds be the judge. When it gets to the right place, unplug the bung, turn your spigot, and drain the barrel. It's normal to lose a little in the process. Stick in a funnel and pour it in your bottle using a fine mesh strainer. That'll help pick up any bits of charred oak that might have come through. Then slap on a homemade label and you're good to go. When you're ready to drink it, measure out a couple ounces, pour it in your mixing glass, Add ice and stir it well to chill it down and give it some dilution. Then strain your drink into your chilled Nick and Nora glass. Slice a good hunk of orange peel. It's actually better in this case to leave a layer of white pith on the back. It'll make it sturdier when it comes time to flame it. If you're using matches, strike your match and let the sulfur burn off. Warm the skin of your orange peel over the flame and give it a good hard pinch to express some oils over the drink. Then drop the peel in the drink for garnish. And there it is, fully loaded, the barrel-aged Revolver. Enjoy. Click here for more videos. Be sure to subscribe and check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For links, more info, and the printed recipe, check out the description below.